There we go. Yep, got some. You rolling?
Yeah.
Well, I got cut and done on the firewall. Now I need to pull this dash out. So I can see what's behind here. Finish cutting on the floor and down the sides. That's rusted out. The entirety of the windshield trim and all of the seal screws for along the front where the hood is, true fashion, were all wood screws, so that's awesome. That's definitely the right screw to have been over here holding the trim around the windshield, so that's been a pleasant little archaeology discovery, so that's been fun. But let me go ahead and see if I can get these screws out of here, get this dash out, and I'll get back with you when that's done. Hi guys, welcome back. Well, yesterday was an exciting day. It was the first day of real demo on the 48. Got a lot of the firewall kind of cut. I don't know if you can see, probably not. But I got some cuts down through here, down along there. Got it all the way cut across, and the other side's the same way. And you know, like any good project, I went ahead and started demoing the inside so that I could get all that mess out of there and see, you know, start cutting the floor and all that good stuff. And then, as in all good projects, you run into your first unexpected problems. Got the carpet out. It's up here. It's lovely red carpet. It's fantastic, high quality stuff. It'll look great in my trash. And then they had this cheap, the Home Depot kind of Dynamat laid down, which was a bit of a nightmare to pull up. And then I started finding, well, there's some problems. Some holes in the floor. A little bit more rust than anticipated. Not a huge issue, but definitely going to take a little bit of time to fix and push back my timetable a little bit. I got the dash pulled out. That was a lot of fun. The dash in this was completely rusted out on the bottom. I'm assuming that this thing didn't have a windshield for a while, because the bottom of the dash was completely rusted out. And I went ahead and did cut the cross member that goes from here to the other side over here, because I don't need it. I'm not going to use that style dash nor the steering wheel, so I didn't need it, so I cut it out. The other reason I'm thinking there was probably no windshield in this car, or any glass probably, is because you've got all this rust down here too. Now this front panel here that goes from here to over there, that's a panel that's removable anyway. There's a bolt here, there's a bolt over here, one over there. So this is all supposed to come out anyway, apparently. And well, it's coming out anyway regardless, because there's not much left of it. But if you'll see over here, there's a bunch of rust where the body's supposed to meet this main channel. And that's pretty important. You can see up here, there's the hole, there's the cut line from where I cut the firewall loose yesterday. All but, of course, the little bit that's holding it down over here. But otherwise, it's going really well. Got the seat out, and thank God I decided to do this. But definitely pushes my timetable back a little bit. Oh, and how about this? This is some good stuff. This entire piece here, there's metal underneath it, but there's a thick layer of Bondo across this entire piece. This entire panel is bondoed. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, because there is metal underneath it, and it looks okay. I can actually see this metal. It doesn't look to be super corroded. I'm guessing they just did it. I don't know why they did it, because I wouldn't have done that. But this will all have to come out. You know, interesting. I don't want to ramble too much, but this is actually the fourth car I've gotten where fiberglass has been used instead of welding in a patch panel. I don't know if that's some kind of acceptable procedure or not, but this is the fourth car. This car had it. The 67 here had fiberglass in the floors. I had to put a whole new floor pans in it because it was all fiberglass together. My 55 Chevy that I had fiberglass floor patches in it, and the 60 Buick I had before that had fiberglass patch panels in it. So I don't know if it's just people are afraid to weld, or fiberglassing is somehow cheaper, which I don't really think it is when you add the time into it. Like, it's in my opinion, much cheaper just to go ahead and cut this metal out and tack and plug weld another thicker piece in it to strengthen it back up. But I don't know, let me know what you think. If somebody out there is doing fiberglass repairs on these things, let me know why. Because if it's a matter of not knowing how to weld, well, I understand that, because I didn't know either until I had to. I didn't learn how to weld until I had to do the floor pans in these other cars. But, you know, a few YouTube videos and just a general necessity of needing to do it. And they weren't pretty, and they still aren't, but they're functional and they're strong. And it's a pretty well permanent fix. I mean, some welding, a patch panel, some seam sealer, and especially on floor pans. Like, it doesn't have to be pretty, or it's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be safer than this horrifying train wreck that I've got in front of me here, where I was going to fall out of the car. Fortunately, though, the back of the car is pretty unmolested. It's dirty and rusty, but it's not full of holes, and it's not been treated to the same level of Bondo and fiberglass as the rest of the car, thank God. So back here I'll just have to wire wheel it down, maybe some Port 15, some epoxy, I don't know yet, but we'll get it all cleaned up and sealed, and I'll see what the metal's like. Some of this is going to have to probably get cut anyway to accommodate the Ranger's frame, so I'm not going to do a ton to this yet until I actually figure out what is going to have to get cut, what's going to stay, and then at that point is when I'll seal it up with Port 15 or some epoxy or something like that. Oh, how about these lovely, lovely rat treasures underneath the back seat here? That's always a nice thing to find. Also found some under the dash. That was pretty awesome. So I'll have to get that all out of here and cleaned out and vacuumed, and explains the smell. So, because you know, all old cars have that distinct smell of mold and rat pee. It's lovely. I really appreciate it. That's why I always pull all the carpet out in mine. But anyway, I'll get back with you once I've got this floor situated and let you know what we're going to do from there. Alright, thanks. Hello everybody, it's the next day, and I thought I'd let you see how the floor ended up turning out, what we're dealing with here. Not as bad as I was thinking, but still worse than I was hoping. So, not too bad. A little bit of rot here and there. A couple holes. That one's not too bad. One over here. A little bit of something over here in the back. You bring her on the other side. So beautiful. I can't wait till I can actually take her down the interstate, go from cruising to cruising with air conditioning going, power steering. Very excited about it. And then there, of course, sitting over there in all her glory is the 2000 Ford Ranger. So we'll go ahead and, I think I'm going to call this thing a 1948 Ford Super Deluxe Ranger. I think that's what we're going to go with. Might even get a Ranger emblem, like a Ranger logo. Put it like somewhere over here, maybe on the back corner or something, so it's kind of out of the way, so you can't really tell, but I'll know it's there, and I'll chuckle every time I see it. But in the interim, since we did all this, and I took the interior out, the garage has gained a couch. And it is a fantastically comfortable couch, I have to say. I love the seat. I don't know what it's out of. If you can identify it, please let me know. It obviously came out of a two-door coupe, something from probably the 60s. You can tell by the hump there. And it's got a homemade base on it, which I like. It's not very well done, but we'll shore up all the welding and all that before we reinstall it. But it's really, really comfortable. I think I'm probably going to get it reupholstered at some point. Or Mexican blanket. I haven't decided yet. So if you can ID this thing, that would be amazingly helpful, and I would love that. And then here's the garage and all of its junky glory right now. Got too much stuff going on. There's the hood in the background and most of the front panels, and there's my Jeep Wrangler office chair that I made a little while ago. So not a whole lot going on in here today. Oh, UPS. Backing up in my driveway. Oh man. Be right back. Alright everybody, well that was a false alarm. UPS backed down my driveway, but apparently there was nothing for me. How disappointing. I was hoping that maybe I'd bought something and forgotten about it. It was huge. But no, sadly, nothing like that. So right now I've got all my front end parts stored. Oh, here's the my last hot rod. How awesome is that? Purple sparkly pedal bike. Gotta love that. All the parts stored here in the Willis trailer, mostly out of the weather, at least for the time being. So that's good. I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna damage the paint. I think it'll be okay. Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a couple of days. Had some work stuff I had to do. Came out here for a little while yesterday. I didn't film any of it because I was trying to get some work done, but trying to cut back all the rust. The small holes turned into big ones on both sides, as they usually do. Not a big deal. I got a couple of the pans, or replacement panels, made up already. They're not welded or fitted, but they're in there, sort of. So they're not going to be pretty, but I never wanted them to be, or I don't care if they are. They just need to be strong, which they will be. And I got all this cut out, and I think I'm gonna have to take this out too, right here. This is not any good, and luckily there's a support that runs into the body here that I can tie into in the front, so I'll probably cut all this back as well. So that'll be fun. And then I was pulling back the rear inside panels here, just seeing what was going on, and found some more fun. Found a whole bunch of rust here, and that part of the main support right here is completely gone, so that's exciting. And then you'll see daylight through here, so I'm going to have to fix that. The other side's not as bad. You can see it's not great, but it's not as bad. So I'll probably end up dropping this running board either today or tomorrow and get to fixing that, because it's all rusted out, and I'm going to have to fix all that, because since I'm using the body, I need to actually have a solid body that's attached to itself, and right now it's not. So that's kind of important when you're going to do a body swap. Alright, so here's where we're at. I ended up cutting some more of the floor out here, and at some point someone welded a plate underneath here, which is why it seemed stable, but it's all rusted out. So got to figure out what to do to repair here. I guess I'll run a piece of angle or maybe a box piece here. This is rusted through as well, so I have to cut all that back, no problem. And then replace this top bit and the piece down to that supporting floor down here, and then tie it back in to the actual body. Way more work than I was planning on doing to this thing today, but what are you gonna do? You gotta do it. If you're gonna, I can't have the body falling off the new frame. That would be kind of unfortunate, kind of a pain in the ass. So I might as well do it right. Well, I'm not gonna do it right, but I might as well patch it up as best as I can. Alright guys. Alright guys, so I got this bottom piece out here. There it is, right there. It was here. I'll tell you what, whoever did the body work on this thing last, or I'm not good at it, but these guys really weren't good at it. Just awful. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do to rebuild this structure. Just about have to take the body apart, and I don't really want to take this B-pillar loose, even though this seems to be all just solid Bondo. There's some Bondo mushrooms, worms coming out through there. Anyway, I'll get back with you.